Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do cooking, egg roll in a bowl. It's simple, quick, and easy. It also could be low carb and it could be gluten free, and I'll tell you how to do that. We're just going to use hardware. We're going to use a 12-inch skillet, a meat chopper, and a rubber spatula. 1 pound of ground beef. Mine is 93% lean, 7% fat. We're going to use 1 pound of tricolored coleslaw. You could use just the straight cabbage for a lower carb option. We're going to use 2 teaspoons, heaping teaspoons of minced garlic or 4 cloves of chopped garlic fresh. We're going to use this stir-in ginger paste or a tablespoon of fresh chopped ginger. We're also going to use a half a cup of reduced sodium soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, as well as 1 half teaspoon of ground ginger. Now I hesitate on the measurements, because again, this is to taste. So when my sister Alicia introduced this to me, as you know, she's the one who's, I call her my keto queen, but she told me that I would absolutely love this. And because it's low carb and because I'm a diabetic, I can have it, like, I don't want to say willy-nilly, but I can just definitely indulge in it a little bit. Though I do have to watch the sodium, so that's part of it too. Now, you will see me use too much soy sauce in this one, only because I wrote down the recipe wrong. But you just need a half a cup of soy sauce. This is the low sodium soy sauce. If you're trying to keep this gluten-free, then you want to make sure not only do you use gluten-free spices, but you use aminos instead of soy sauce. So if you are a person who keeps gluten, I'm sure you know what aminos are. They're basically, they create that same umami flavor that you get with soy sauce, but they are made without the wheat. If you're not familiar, then soy sauce is made with wheat. So be mindful of that if you have a wheat allergy or if you are trying to be gluten-free, okay? Now, you know, Jim and I don't do gluten-free. We just do reduced gluten, so the soy sauce is perfect for us. Now, I was 100% going to keep this in real time because the whole recipe is only 16 minutes. It took us from start to finish. But it's really boring to sit here and watch ground beef brown. I'm sorry. So if you are doing keto, you know you need a certain amount of fat in your diet as well. If you're going to use a higher fat content beef, you want to make sure that you drain it after you brown it. Because there's only 7% of fat in here, I'm left with very, very little. And we're actually going to use what little fat we are going to be left with to cook the ginger and garlic and to mix it with the sesame oil. I like the sesame oil. The sesame oil is not in the original recipe. She doesn't use it. I love it. I also love the extra ginger, the 2 layers of ginger. She uses just dried ginger. I like the different flavor levels that you get with the ginger paste. This ginger paste is organic. I got it from Aldi. They do sell it at Kroger and Walmart and stuff. Definitely look in the produce section if you can't find it by your spices. But if you use fresh ginger, of course, you know it does have a little bit of a bite to it, but it definitely enhances the flavor a little bit, in my opinion. Anyway, in my humble opinion. Now, the same thing with garlic. If you like the different flavor levels of garlic, you can go ahead and add some powdered garlic to this or garlic granules. That will also give it a different garlic flavor level as well. Okay, it definitely does not need any extra salt. Even the reduced sodium soy sauce has plenty of salt in there. But if you're a person who does like ground pepper, I would stick with the traditional white pepper that they use for, you know, in Asian cooking. From time to time, they use white pepper. So if you would want that peppery bite, go ahead and add that. But I don't care for it, so I left it out. It's one of these recipes that is definitely it's one of these dishes that definitely has multiple recipes and multiple variations. So what I did was we browned the meat. I opened a spot in the middle. I let some of the beef grease get in there, and I added half of my sesame oil. Then I added my ginger paste and my ground garlic, and then I kind of just let it cook for just about 5 or 10 seconds just to get some oil on it and to release some flavors. Then I add the cabbage, And then we're going to add the soy sauce. And again, this is twice as much soy sauce that you're supposed to be using, so I apologize. So I'm going to have to let it cook off later, but plus it's also going to add a little bit more salt than you would normally put too. So just keep that in mind. Her recipe, the recipe she originally told me over the phone was ginger and soy to taste. But she said the recipe she uses is a 1/4 cup of soy sauce. I found that a 1/2 cup was really the perfect amount for me. But again, you do what works for you, and you try this. And if you think it's too salty, then reduce it next time. If you think it's not salty enough, but it's soy sauce enough, if it's umami enough, then you can add salt to it. So it's really one of those things that you really can customize. Now, I think that the big key for me is once the cabbage is in there, I give it a quick stir, I cover it, and then I'm going to let the cabbage wilt down. And like I said, this whole recipe, start to finish, is just 16 minutes from the time we put the stove on till the time we went ahead and turned the stove off. What we did do is it was time for HQ, so we let it sit on the stove for 20 minutes without the cover on. It still stayed nice and warm, and it continued to wilt out that cabbage, really make the flavors enhance. But I will tell you, this is best day 2, in my opinion. We had it day 2, we had it day 3. It was really good as well, but it's definitely better than the first day, in my opinion. Again, my humble opinion. So you're just going to let it sit. I waited every 1 minute on the clock. I lifted the cover and stirred it. And I repeated this for 3 minutes until my cabbage was really nice and wilted and had a tiny bit of color on it. And what I was trying to do was to get rid of some of the liquid. Because again, I put in too much soy sauce. So I was trying to cook the liquid off in the bottom. I left the cover off. I put in the rest of the sesame oil. And again, that's an option. You can leave that out if you want. And this is where I add the ground ginger. And again, the ground ginger does give it a different flavor level. Trying to be fancy. Does give it a different flavor level than the ginger paste or fresh ginger. And again, if you're a person who doesn't like ginger, like it's a little bit more of, I feel like they use ginger a little less in Chinese cooking than they do in like Japanese cooking. But if you're a person who doesn't like ginger, you can just use the soy sauce and garlic. It's fine. I think that would be okay too. I just love the way that sesame oil and ginger and garlic and soy sauce all taste together. I feel like it should be a marinade. That's all I'm saying. Okay. And then we're just going to let it cook off. Like I said, I was trying to let some of the liquid cook off because I put in too much soy sauce. But if you don't have that problem, you just want to cook it till like your cabbage is wilted, your beef is brown, and your liquid is dissipated. And that's it. So I shut it off and I left it on that hot burner just to cook off the rest of that liquid, like I said. And it sat there for 20 minutes until it became perfect. And here it is after 20 minutes. You can still see once I stir it, steam does come back off of it because it is still very hot under there. And all of the cabbage and carrots are wilted down really nicely. You don't have to leave it for 20 minutes. You can eat it and serve it right away, obviously. But I will show you that if you do want to cook it ahead, it will be just as fabulous. Okay? Now we're just going to serve it in tiny little bowls because Jim and I are just going to have it as a late night dinner. But, you know, if you want to not worry about your carbs, this would be really good over some rice. And if you're not doing gluten-free, then it would be really good over some ramen as well. And I just wanted to add, it's a really nice way to sneak vegetables into your kids' diet because you don't even realize that you're eating like all that cabbage. I'm just saying. So hopefully you guys really enjoyed this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions at all, like if I skip something, please leave them in the comments down below. And also check out the description box for the list of all the ingredients, as well as some nutritional information per serving, per cup. Okay? And if you haven't yet, click subscribe, and when you do, a little bell will pop up. When you ring that bell, YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video. And don't forget to share this with friends and family. Anybody you know might be interested in throwing a new recipe into their recipe card catalog. As always, you guys take care. God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye.